All right, everyone, let's get started with making this poncho. I am using Red Heart Yarn Super Saver Ombre, which has 482 yards. And this colorway is called True Blue. Let's get started. I am using a number 8 crochet hook. Okay, it's a number 8, if you can see that. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this poncho. I'm going to get started. Let me find my beginning piece. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with a slip knot. Go ahead and wrap the yarn around 2 fingers. Have it going across. Go into your 2 fingers. Grab the yarn and pull just like this. All right. Now do we have our slip knot? And then you could just take this little piece right here and bring it down. We're going to chain a number of 80. Now, I'm going to leave all the sizes that's needed in the description. So to make a chain, you just grab your yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through. That's 2. Grab the yarn, pull through. 3, 4, 5. So go ahead and do 80 and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have 80. So once you have your 80 or whatever number chains that you're going to be using for your size, I want you to go back to the chain 1 and we're going to do a slip stitch to join. We're going to do a slip stitch to join our work together. So go ahead and do a slip stitch. And once you have a slip stitch, you should have now a ring. If you counted a number of 80, you also going to need to have a stitch marker, a tapestry needle, and a pair of scissors, okay? Your stitch marker, let's go ahead and put this yarn to the side so it doesn't be as distracting, because I don't have a white background. So I have my work into a ring. Now I'm just going to count 40, which is going to be half of my work, and I'm going to put a stitch marker in the stitch number 40. So whatever number you have, go ahead and count 40 chain all the way down, which is going to be half of your work, and put your stitch marker there, and I'll be right back. So I counted 40, and so here's my stitch marker. Now all you do is let's get started. 1, 2, 3, chain up 3, and directly into that same stitch where you chain up 3, I want you to go ahead and put 2 more double crochets directly into that stitch. 2 more double crochets, go through 2, go through 2. Wrap the yarn around your hook, insert it in the same stitch, go through 2, go through 2. Chain 1, and now directly into that same stitch, we still working into that same stitch, put 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So this is considered our first point. You have 2 points. This is our first point where we have 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Now I want you to chain 2. I want you to skip 2 stitches at the bottom, 1, 2, and the third stitch, put 3 double crochets directly into that stitch. 1, 2, all into the same stitch. You're putting 3 double crochets, and 3. Chain 2, 1, 2. I want you to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and put 3 double crochets into the third stitch. Skip 2, and there's my third stitch. I'm sorry about that. There's my third stitch. The first row is always the toughest row, but it does get easier. 1, 2, and 3. So you're going to repeat that all the way until you get to your stitch marker. you're going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and in the 3rd stitch you're going to put 3 double crochets. Repeat that all the way to your stitch marker. Okay, I made it to my stitch marker, so I'm going to chain 2, and then here's my stitch marker right here. I'm going to go into there. I'm going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to chain 1 and go directly back into that same stitch and put 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So this is my second point. I can take this stitch marker out. So this is my second point, as we did in the beginning, where I have 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So I'm just going to put this stitch marker right back into this point right here, so I always know where to do my 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. And now I'm just going to chain 2 and repeat exactly what I did on the opposite side, where I skipped 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then in the 3rd stitch I'm going to put my 3 double crochets. Skip 2, 3 double crochets. So repeat that all the way till you get to your point. And here's your point right here. I'm just repeating, doing 3 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, everyone. So row 1 is now, this is how it should be looking. Once you get back to your point, this is your point, go ahead and chain 2. And then we're going to go directly on top of our chain 3. And we're going to do a slip stitch. So go on top of chain 3. Do a slip stitch to close this up. Go to your next double crochet and do another slip stitch. And then you should be now into the center. Go into the center, and I want you to do a slip stitch. So now we in the middle of our point. Row 2 is a repeat through the whole process. We're going to chain up 3. Every time we get to our point, we chain up 3. We put 2 more double crochets right in the center here. We're going to put 3 double crochets. That's 1, that's 2, and this is 3. The first chain 3 is counted as our first double crochet. Chain 1 and go right back into that same space and put 3 more double crochets. 2 and 3. You always know when you're at your point because you have that 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. Now you're just going to chain 1. Into each of these spaces right here, you're going to put 3 double crochets directly into that space. That's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1 and put 3 double crochets into the space. So repeat that all the way till you get to your stitch marker. Chain 1 and put 3 double crochets directly into that space, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back at my stitch marker. I'm just going to pull this out for 1 second. And here I'm going to put 3 double crochets, chain 1. Every time you get to your stitch marker, put in 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then put 3 more double crochets back into that same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. That's my point again. All right, and now I'm just going to chain 1 and do exactly what I did on the opposite side. Okay, I'll be right back. So this is how our work is looking so far. So remember, once you get back to your point, go ahead on top of chain 3, slip stitch to join, and you're going to slip stitch all the way till you get to the middle of the point. 1, 2, and now I'm in the middle, and you're going to repeat row 2 till you get to the length that you want. Continue going around and around and around. I'll see you guys once I get to the length that I need. Repeat row 2 till you get to the length that you need. I'll be right back. All right guys, so this is how your poncho should look once you are done I hope this video was clear. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Give this video a thumbs up. And until next video, keep crocheting.